People, Armageddon is almost upon us. Yes, today, I think at around 9 or 10 o'clock Central Standard Time, we're going to begin the first wave of the Mt. Gox sell-off. And people are already predicting as low as $38,000. Many are predicting the $48,000 to $51,000 area. I think they are overthinking it. Yes, there was a poll that said 56% of Mt. Gox users do not plan to sell off their holdings. Only 20% plan to sell off all their holdings. And about 15% are going to sell between 1 and 25% of their holdings. So based on that poll, which is not very scientific and people could be lying their ass off, that's possible. We're going to get maybe a couple $100 million in sales, maybe $1 billion in sales over some amount of time. Now, I think a lot of people are thinking that they're going to sell basically like the entire stash like this weekend. I don't think that's going to happen. Even for the ones that are going to sell, especially for the bigger holders, they're probably going to find a broker to sell OTC because, that would be smart. Selling basically on the open market of like 10,000, if you have 10,000 Bitcoins, not very smart. And also, we don't really know like who answered they were going to sell and who didn't answer they were going to sell. Like, the person that like said they weren't going to sell might hold 100 Bitcoins, while the person that that said they were going to sell only holds 10 Bitcoins, and that has a disparity. So we won't really know that. But by the time I stream tonight, we should have the first effects of the sales. So if by the time I stream tonight, we're still like $63,000, $64,000, then the sale might definitely be overestimated. And I think a lot of people are saying, including myself, that the Mt. Gox fear of selling is overestimated and that the sell-off won't be nearly as bad as anticipated. I think the BCH sale will eventually be disastrous, but not so much the BTC sale, because I don't think a huge proportion of people are going to sell. As I've said before, many of the people that would sell have already sold their rights to holding companies. I don't think the holding companies are necessarily in a hurry. They know the 4-year cycle, they know the ETFs, and they think it might be going up, so they can hold for another 6 months or so. And also, the ETFs are another thing. BlackRock, Fidelity are buying up a lot. The whales are buying up a lot. I'm not saying they can absorb 40, 50,000 Bitcoin at once overnight, but that's also not what's going to come onto the market at night. I think even the people that sell will probably siphon and sell very slowly. So the overall effect on the market would be a lot more mild over a much longer period of time. And then you have if that's the case, then, like BlackRock, Fidelity, and the whales could actually absorb the bulk of it, if not all of it. So there's a lot more going on here than most people would actually think or believe. And I think we just have to look at, we really have to look at which people said they were going to sell, which people said they weren't going to sell, what the proportions are. And it's very, very hard to know that until the selling actually starts. And we'll get a taste of that tonight. My guess is that, if I log on tonight, we're at 61K. It's probably going to dump below 60. If I log on, it's already in the 50s, then it's going to be kind of disastrous. But if I log on, it's above 63K and I stream, then it's not going to be nearly as bad as I thought. And the overall dump might not actually go below $60,000, which means the alts, they're going to dump a little bit. But remember, Mt. Gox doesn't actually have any alts besides BCH. So because Mt. Gox doesn't have any alts besides BCH, if Bitcoin only dumps a little bit, I don't think the alts will actually be hurt all that much. I think the Wazer X hack for Ethereum holders is probably a little bit more worrying, especially for Shiba Inu holders. But yeah, if we're not below 62 or 63 by tonight, I definitely think people were overestimating this dump. My guess is the most we're going to dump down to is probably around 56 if that happens. I'm hoping that we can actually hold 60. I do not think we are going to wick down to 48 or 38 or even lower. And I do think the fear factor might actually be worse than the actual dump. I know a lot of people will actually disagree with me, but to me, in 6 hours, in a couple of hours, it'll start and we'll see who's right and who's wrong. And if they were lying about not selling or selling, I think there's just going to be a lot that's revealed. And remember, I've actually gotten rumors that the Voyager distribution checks will actually, the second round of them will actually come in August. And that's going to be a bullish situation because Voyager already sold all their coins and distributing the cash. And some people might put that cash back into Bitcoin. So even if you're selling out, you definitely want to buy back within a couple of weeks, especially by the end of the summer, beginning of the fall, because if those distribution checks hit, that could be millions upon millions of dollars coming back into crypto. Like I said, right now the distribution seems to be all coordinated, honestly. You have essentially, like the distribution seems to all be coordinated. You have Mt. Gox, you had the German government, you have Genesis, and now you have BlockFi that's going to distribute sometime in July. And then like all the money distributions, which are positive for crypto, are coming in much later in the year. So it looks like they're like setting up a case where like, they want you to dump out and sell out. And then like they can buy up cheaper, they being the big whales and like BlackRock and Fidelity, where they can actually buy cheaper and take advantage of that low price and control more of the market. So it does actually seem to be kind of planned out right now. I don't know if that's actually the case or just ended up being that way. But yeah, I don't think the sell is going to be that bad. And we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Next Tuesday, if we're still above 60K, I think we're fine. So that's the news for today. Let me know what you think. Like and subscribe, hit that bell notifications button. Thank you and have a nice day.